Welcome to a video, dear viewer. Has been many years since I've posted a video. Don't worry, has nothing to do with the title, I just got busy with life. But I just wanted to try making videos again, so I thought I'd start with something easy to do. A story time about a situation in year 7 where I might not have made it if it wasn't for my mum. There's gonna be some art in the background of the video. If you'd like to see more of my art, feel free to follow me on Instagram at bunbunarts with 2 S's, or on Twitter or X, whatever it is now. I made a new account at sparklebunarts, also with 2 S's. You can subscribe to the channel and like the video, that would help out a lot. But anyway, you want to hear my crazy story already. So it all began one early Sunday morning, and when I say early, I mean early. Like no 13, 14-year-old is waking up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday because they want to. I woke up busting for the toilet, so obviously I went, but when I got back in my bed, I noticed I had a bit of a stomach ache. I thought I was just hungry, or that time of the month was coming up, and ignored it at first. Since I couldn't sleep anymore, I just watched a couple of YouTube videos. My stomach started hurting more after about an hour, so I went downstairs to get some food. Since my mum would be waking up soon as well, I thought I could just eat with her. The moment I went downstairs, the pain intensified. It was so strong and so sudden that I nearly fell down the stairs. I somehow managed to get down unhurt and practically fall on the couch in pain. My mum came down a few minutes after because she heard the noise and asked what was wrong. I told her how badly my stomach hurt, and we both assumed I'd gotten a bad stomach bug. When the pain was bearable, I managed to go back upstairs to my bed, where I lay for a few hours. All the while, the pain was getting worse and worse. In the beginning, I could kind of move my body in a way to make it hurt less, but then nothing was helping. I eventually moved to my old temporary bed from when we had just moved, in the next room over, since it was lower and easier to get up from. At this point, I'd also been given different types of pain medicine, but none were working. All I could do was sit in the fetal position and rock back and forth. The pain was excruciating. My mum said we should go see a doctor because it was so bad, and I usually never showed this kind of reaction. At first, I didn't want to go because I couldn't even get dressed from all the pain. My mum forced me to get dressed and walk to the car. Walking was almost impossible. I had to stop and crouch every 2 steps. Unfortunately, since it was Sunday, my usual doctor was closed, and we had to go to a place we had never been that dealt with things on Sundays. I don't remember how we got there, I just know when we did, I just sat in the waiting room like I had in my bed, in the fetal position, until I was called, even though I would usually be embarrassed. Now I know you're thinking, oh, I probably saw the doctor and he told me what was wrong, and then he gave me the correct medication, and everything was okay in the end. Or maybe not, because of the title of the video. But anyway, what happened was, I laid down on the bed chair thing that was in the doctor's room, and he pressed around on my stomach after asking about the symptoms. And then I felt like 5 minutes of relief, because I ended up throwing up all over his floor. I felt so bad and so embarrassed in the moment, but looking back, it's what he deserved. After the incident, he basically said I had a stomach bug and should just stay home and rest. Now, I did tell him that I felt better after he pressed on my stomach. However, he seemed to ignore all the other things my mum and I had told him, like the area of pain in my lower right abdomen, the fact that pain meds were doing nothing, the fact that I was in so much pain I couldn't even just exist and rest. We were sent home, and I don't know how, but I somehow slept in my silly little squat position that was the only thing keeping me sane. When my mum came to check on me before dinner, and I was still in that position after hours and still in unbearable pain, she insisted we go to the hospital right away. She, of course, was Googling my symptoms and was sure it was something serious. And I'm sure some of you viewers have guessed what was happening. I was very reluctant to go out again. It had been so difficult the first time, and I'd already been told it was nothing to worry about. But again, I was kind of forced to put on my pants again and go. When we got to the hospital, it luckily didn't take long, at least in terms of hospital waiting time, for me to be put in a room. The first room was kind of just a separate waiting space where I got a name tag, and I think they checked my blood oxygen level. I felt a little bad because there was a very pregnant lady in the bed next to me who was obviously having some problems, and I was still under the impression that I just had a bad tummy ache. I felt even worse when both the pregnant lady and myself were called to go to an ultrasound room, and I had to be pushed in a wheelchair because walking hurt so much. I felt so very helpless at that time. We got to the room, and the pregnant lady went first. After about 15 minutes, it was my turn. It took all of 2 minutes for the ultrasound tech to tell me what was wrong. I had acute appendicitis. My appendix was ready to burst. As a kid, I had no clue what was going on, especially because I didn't know what the German word for appendicitis was. Actually, I don't think I even knew the English word. Also, yes, this happened shortly after moving to Germany, so I was still learning. So, did any of you watching guess correctly what I had? After talking to my mum, the nurse that had helped me to the ultrasound room helped push me to another room where I was told to change clothes and that they would be operating. Like, right then, they were preparing the room, and my mum had to fill out the paperwork. I was so scared. I'd never been operated on, and in that moment, when they told me they were getting ready so quickly, I realized how bad the situation was, and that if we had delayed in coming to the hospital, my appendix could have burst and caused so many more problems. I'd say within like half an hour, I was in the operating room being asked what color I wanted the pokey thing in my arm to be. There was no purple, so they gave me pink. The next thing I remember was waking up in a kind of waiting room, and my mum was there, and I think I fell back asleep and woke up in the room I had waited in before being operated on. The surgery was successful, everything was fine. I stayed in the hospital for a week, and it was really boring. Then I stayed at home for a week and was mostly healed before going back to school. This is probably my most crazy story, and I don't think I could tell any more interesting ones. My life is quite uneventful, I think. As you can imagine, the first doctor I saw is one of the reasons I have a hard time trusting what some doctors have to say now that I'm older. Especially since I've been suffering from chronic shoulder pain and rib pain and other random pain for about a year that no doctor will look into other than saying it's psychosomatic. But that's a different matter. I don't really know how to end this since the topic was kinda serious, but I hope you were entertained, and I guess until the next video.